Hey there. Are you overgiving at work? Now, you may laugh and say, Catherine, school hasn't even started yet, or we're at the end of August and, we're only a weekend. So, no, not a problem. However, if you are a conscious educator who has maybe struggled with burnout in the past, overgiving is one of those things that sort of sneaks up on you and you may not even realize that you're doing it until you're in the thick of it and getting to that point of burnout. So what do I mean by that? It's like, well, you care about your students and not only their success in the classroom, you care about them outside of their families, with their boyfriends, with what college they're going to go to next year, whatever. You care about them as a whole person. You care about your team, your colleagues, your school and community. And all of that caring and giving, because you're giving your energy and your time to all of those things, adds up to really to that point of overgiving. And it can show up where you're invited to be on like another curriculum committee, or maybe you're going to take a second student teacher that year, or maybe it's you're invited to be like the faculty mentor for a club, or you they need a coach for something and okay, yeah, you can do it. And all of these things, like, they add up and they start to affect you. They affect you in your energy and your enthusiasm and so forth in the classroom. And that really breaks your heart because the last thing you want to do is have like any negative impact on your students. And so you might be, if you're tired, you might be a little more short tempered or really not putting in that extra, like, that's what you expect of yourself. And then the second way is like you find that you've less time for your family and your friends, that you're staying at work later, or you're working more on, and not only on nights, but on weekends too, which means you really don't have the energy to go and do things with your family. And it also shows up by you have less time for yourself, no time to go for a walk in nature or take a spin or a yoga class after school, or that time to like read a book or simply just go to bed earlier. So that all those things that fill you back up, you don't have time to do them. And so that overgiving becomes it's it becomes a deficit because you're just putting so much out there but not taking anything in, and you get out of balance. And so, my number one tip for those of you that get caught up in overgiving, and hey, I've been there, done that, and definitely watched myself on it. But the number one thing I recommend is that you learn to say no. You set boundaries. When another invitation comes in, and that it's an automatic reflex, it's like, yes, instead, pause and say no and tell other people, just simply say no. Now, that's not an easy thing to do for those of us that are overgiving and caring. And, it's really a learned behavior. And so I know it's tricky. Yet I know if you've struggled with burnout in the past and you don't want to get into falling into burnout this year, and you really want to have the energy and the enthusiasm and care about your students in your classroom and also your family and your friends and yourself, and yet you find it challenging to do that, and it's a real struggle for you, then I invite you to have a conversation with me and we'll talk about what happens, like how do you sort of slide into overgiving without even knowing it, and how you can stop it. So the link is below, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Love and blessings. Namaste.